Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. We didn't realize last time. Well, thanks for the comments, by the way. But we did realize after seeing the comments that this is the first time some of you guys have seen HQ2, right? So we just want to take you for a quick walk around HQ2 on the outside and tell you what we're up to.
HQ2? What's that stand for? I don't know, honey. What am I supposed to say? I didn't know what HQ2 was.
This is going to be terrible. All right, let's go.
Hi guys, so we're going to give you a little bit of a tour of the property, and we feel that every season out here is going to be pretty awesome. Like right now with all the snow, it's beautiful, but it'll be just as beautiful in the summer. So we're going to take you on an adventure today. We're going to try to tap trees for syrup. So it should be very interesting.
So Pam got this idea that she wanted to make maple syrup, and let's just say she showed up with what kind of a jug were you using? Like an apple juice jar.
Yeah, it's just this big.
You realize that it takes 40 gallons of maple syrup just to make 1 gallon. It's a 40-to-1 ratio. And then I asked, so where are you going to boil the maple syrup? Well, I'm just going to do it in the kitchen. Big mistake. So I think we're going to have to figure out how to build a firebox and do all that. Anyways, this is the house. So this is what we call Gem of the Valley, right? And the reason we call it Gem of the Valley is because we are surrounded, if you look up, we are surrounded by mountains. So over here, behind our shed, we have Hill Road is that way, but I don't know if that's Johnson Mountain, and I forget the name of this mountain. But we are literally surrounded by mountains. What you might not realize is if we pan over here to the right, past these giant pine trees, you may be able to see way over in the distance over there, those are train tracks. So right in the front of the house, we have a train that passes by. And as we walk down the driveway, you will be able to see we are also abutters to a river.
We have to make sure we show the barn too. Definitely not for live animals for us. At one day, I'm sure it was.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, we do need to build a spot for the excavator. Pam didn't want to see it. Notice you didn't see anything coming in the road, so I've got it tucked right behind there, behind the trailer for right now.
Thank you.
And on this side, of the house, we have another sort of barn, but it's been repurposed as sort of an indoor space. But here is what we'll call Maple Grove. So as we look up, you have a bunch of maple trees. Now, part of the trick of this is we've got to figure out how to actually identify these trees, right? So we don't really know anything about anything. So we got on YouTube last night and tried to figure out how to identify maple trees. So this should be interesting.
Yes. And they said don't tap the horse trees. Horse. We want sugar, sugar maple. And I bought the kit to do tapping.
Okay.
Wait, no, listen. This is very important. And it worked because I figured if it sat around for a few weeks, Lon's going to be like, oh, she really wants to tap and she needs my help. And sure enough, a few days ago, Lon's like,
no, it's a hot mess, guys.
No,
it's a hot mess.
Pam, we should be tapping. This is the best time. I'm like, thank you. I bought the kit 2 months ago.
All right, so
waiting for you.
Maple syrup is what we call I won't even say it's a spring crop, but the end of winter, right? So as the freeze stops and the weather starts to warm up, once it starts to get above, freezing, the sap will actually rise up out of the ground and into the trees. So that's when the syrup starts flowing. So I think we have 4 to 6 weeks of maple flow right now, right? So it is the ideal time to tap the tree. So we'll try to do that today. We've got to go out and get some real buckets, so we can't do them right now. What she was referring to with the horse trees is not really a horse tree, but there's an acronym called MAD horse, right? So that you can identify these trees, right? So that acronym stands for M is maple, the A is ash, the D is a dogwood, and horse is like a horse, what is it? It's the poisonous one.
Yeah. Not the one we're gonna.
I forget what it is. And anyways, we don't want to look for that. And the reason that acronym is important is because it actually tells you how to identify a tree in the middle of winter based on the branches and its growth. They're essentially supposed to have opposing branches. All of those trees that we mentioned, the dogwood, the ash, and the maple, all have opposing branches. So you look for that first, you narrow it down, and then you inspect the bark, and hopefully we can find maple trees and tap maple trees instead of tapping stuff we shouldn't be tapping.
So we hope, but the only problem is there's only 67 acres. So I don't know where to start to find these trees.
But the previous owners tapped trees right here, so we think these are the maple trees.
So we'll see. We'll take you on that adventure. So we're heading out now to see if we can pick up some buckets to collect the sap.
All
so
right.
That's our venture.
Let's see if we can tell you what we're talking about. Let's just look up this tree for a minute here. So we're going to turn you up. And what you can see, if you notice on the branches, right, the branches are split. They're opposing, right? Which means that every time you see those opposing splits, it's not a staggered split, right? So I believe that this bad boy right here in front of us is indeed a maple tree, right?
Wait, they said you have to hug it. It has to be bigger than 12 inches.
Yeah, so you don't want to tap super young trees, and depending on the diameter, right, you can actually tap.
This one's definitely big.
Put several taps in. Yeah, that's definitely big enough, right? This is probably a maple tree. This is a maple tree. And the reason I know, or the reason I think I know, is because of this bark, how it's like coming off and it's flaking. You've got these. So I believe that that's a maple tree. You also want to tap about 3.5 feet up. So what I do is I'm walking around the tree to see if there are any previous holes in this particular tree. Then we also kind of look up to try to gauge the health of the tree. These things are absolutely massive. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Yeah, look at us.
My
We're
gosh.
like straight up and down right now.
I want to make like a snow.
That's
angel
pretty cool.
in the snow. Okay, we have to go to the store and get the buckets. But can you show them the river before we go?
All right, we didn't take you very far. So you can see the houses right there. So we're not very far from the house, and maybe we'll pop the drone later and give you guys sort of a sneak peek. So you can just come down the path here to the back, and there's the beautiful wife. And what we have here is the back section of the frozen river. Now, as you look across the island there, or what I was going to tell you is that's an island. We're not really sure if we own it, but we're going to claim it. So the river flows on both sides of that island. It splits just north up there as it's coming down. There's a lot of ice cover right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty cool.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say it's bigger than what you can see because there's all ice around the edges. So I normally take the dog, Doug, down here because he likes drinking the river, but I won't now because I don't know where the land is and where the ice is.
Yeah. If we turn around over here a little bit, you'll see a lot of fallen trees in the woods. And that's what we're hoping that the Mini can help us with.
Hi guys, we just got back from the hardware store. It was pretty awesome. There was a lot to see. And we got 3 buckets and 3 covers. And Lon is going to drill the hole in each cover.
We don't know what we're doing, so we're gonna start small. Perfect.
Okay, there's one. Want to do the other 2?
All right, for the tap side that goes into the tree, we're going to use a 5/16 bit. Of course, they make specialized bits for tapping trees that are more chamfered than this one is, but we're just going to use a wood drilling bit and send it.
Already? You said it would. Like moisture.
All right, what Pam is doing here is putting some snow around the bucket so everything stays nice and chilled. So pretty.